How difficult is it to adapt a story, and can it work both ways? Well, the answer is yes. Steve Warland is the co-author of the screenplay for the new movie Paper Planes, and he joins us now. And Steve's also written a book about this story. Steve, it must be very pleasing to you to get those really early reviews. I noticed you were tweeting that someone has said it's the best Aussie movie since Red Dog.
Yes, which is wonderful actually to hear, because we really, wanted to create something that was for kids, really, and there's just aren't that many films for kids, Australian films for kids. So it's wonderful to hear, people are embracing it, and it seems to be something that's resonating.
Well, for people that have not switched on and haven't seen the trailers, my kids have seen it. They want me to take them to see it. But tell us about this story, this Australian story you've come up with.
Well, it's basically about a little, Aussie bloke, and we wanted the story to be driven by the young guy, the young 12-year-old. And it's about, he actually realises that he has a knack for folding and throwing paper planes. And we follow his journey as he, starts out first at school, realising that he knows how to do it quite well, instinctively, and then goes to the regional championships, and then the national championships, and then the world championships. So we, get a sense of his story as he makes new friends, butts up against the nemesis, and sort of rebuilds his relationship with his father.
Yeah, well, tell us about those relationships. We've seen on the pictures we're showing now, knocking around with his young mate as well. And it seems to me that you like writing about those relationships that the boys and young men have with their mates and their dads.
Yes, well, that was the thing, really. We were very lucky to get Sam Worthington on board early on in the process, and he was interested in that central relationship between the boy and the father. The father's quite depressed, the mother's passed away, so we really mined that, as well as it being kind of really a lot of fun. It's an exciting, funny, drama, really.
And you must have called in a favour from Sam to come and appear in this movie. You wrote Bootmen, that terrific movie, which I was stunned just looking it up. I was stunned to see it was so long ago now, but it's a great movie.
Yes, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, Sam, the great thing about Sam coming back is that we really couldn't have made it without him. He, was willing to come back, and obviously he's a big star and, has a lot of offers for, very big films, and this is quite a small Australian film. But he was willing to come back and do it, and because he was able to do that, it made it that much easier for us to get it made. Yeah,
Steve, how did you go about it the other way? Did you make this movie and write the screenplay and then decide to write a book about it afterwards, or were you always planning to adapt it to a novel for kids?
It was one of those things where we felt like it might be something that would resonate with kids as a book as well. Obviously with movies you've only got 90 minutes, so it was something that we felt like we could flesh the story out a bit, and then add some extras, like how to fold planes. There's some instructions in the back of the book on how to fold planes. There's lots of photos from the movie. And it was just something we felt like if the kids liked the movie, then they'd love the book. It was just really something to sort of give them a little extra if the movie was something they really liked.
Now, you've written stories for TV in the United States and Australia, of course, movies, big hit movies. You've also written action novels.
Yes.
And you unashamedly write those particular stories for blokes.
Yes.
Do you think there's a gap there, that's not enough stories have been written for blokes, be they young men or older or kids?
Well, basically, yeah. I mean, I love the idea of writing action-adventure stories. And I always felt, when I was growing up, I was always reading either about Americans or Brits. And I felt like, well, it'd be nice to write something that actually had an Australian central character. So it was a big action story, like a James Bond story, but actually had, Aussie characters in the middle of it. And I thought that was something that was sort of lacking in the market. So, I've written 3 of those, and Paper Planes, the book Paper Planes is the 4th book I've written. Yeah,
and while we're talking about young adult fiction being so popular as well, that genre is really booming in publishing. Do you think overall that the boys need more stories to read through their teen years to potentially fall in love with reading?
Yeah, well, trying to get boys to read is the thing. Because there are so many games, there are so many other options out there. There are games and obviously, movies, television, online, you know, YouTube, etc. So getting kids to read, getting boys to read specifically is quite hard. So you really want to try and tailor something that will resonate with them. And so that's what I've tried to do with all the books, actually. Getting blokes to read is quite hard. Women tend to read a lot, and getting blokes to actually open up books and read is difficult. So, you know, anything we can do to make that easier is something I'm interested in.
Well, as a father of 3 sons, I can applaud you this morning, and
Thanks.
looking forward to watching your movie as well, Steve.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.